Today's video is powered by Hauppauge. Skip it up and that up.
I have gotten countless emails and messages to do another dating horror stories video. And the reason I didn't do one because I haven't had any horror stories to talk about. I'm not going to make up shit just to make an entertaining video. I think that would be kind of creepy. Most of the dates I go on go well, or at least good, or even if we don't click, at least we ended amicably and we move on with our lives. You know, I'm not going to make up shit, and I don't know, that to me would just be weird. So I can't really make this a continuous steady series because it's just impossible really to do. So anyway, but yeah, I have some interesting stuff to talk about, and these aren't really super bad horror stories. It's just something that pisses me off, and today was the final straw. And that is there is this underlying double standard when it comes to men and women, when it comes to dating. A woman's allowed to do certain things, bitch about certain things, and have these things happen that if the guy complains about it, he ends up being creepy or weird or rude. So it's okay for her to do these things. But if a guy does the same exact thing, he is considered a bastard. He's considered a rude son of a bitch. He is the scum of the earth. Now keep in mind, same exact thing, there's no difference. It's just what's between their legs. That's the only variable here. And this happened to me today, and it really pissed me off. Let me explain to you what I mean. So there was this girl I met, and she's very busy. I'm very busy. I'm still working my night job. I'm probably going to be working it till late summer. I just want to stay there a little longer. And we're both very busy. It's tough to match up schedules, okay? So we finally settled on Saturday. This Saturday. And we settled on 2 o'clock to get coffee. All right, cool. Last night she texted me, can we do 1 o'clock at Panera's? I don't really care. I'm not going to probably eat anything there anyway. Just get a cup of coffee to meet you. Fine, Panera's. It's tough though, and I almost wanted to change my mind because I only have 1.5 days off. All right, it's technically 2, but it's really not. All right, I work nights, so I don't work Friday and Saturday night, which sounds like 2 days, but the way it works with my sleep schedule, it's just hard to explain. So I don't really not only have that much time, it's tough for me even on the nights off to wake up at, go to bed at 12 and wake up at 9 or 10 o'clock. It just doesn't happen. I end up going to bed 4, 5, or 6 because that's what my body's used to. So I wake up, I set my alarm, I wake up 12 o'clock, 12:15, and I'm like, shit, there's no way I'm meeting her at 1 o'clock. So I text her and say, hey, could we do 2 o'clock? And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I told you I work a night job. It's tough for me to get to sleep, so on and so forth. She's like, let's just do it another day then. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, can you do, I didn't say the fucking kidding me part because then she probably definitely would have flipped her shit. I said, can you do half an hour later? 1:30. 1:30. I could get in the shower, hop in there, and hop my tight ass out and get there at 1:30. No, let's just do it another day. I'm a very busy person, and that's why I said 1 o'clock. My weekends are always packed. I'm thinking to myself, what were we going to meet for? 10 minutes? You can't do a half an hour difference? Was this a job interview? Did I have to bring my resume to it? What is the difference with a half an hour? I could see, even an hour isn't that big of a deal. I could see if I said 2 hours or a different time of the day, completely nighttime. I'm saying a half an hour because I work nights and I have a different sleep schedule. I'm asking you to cut me some slack. But no, that was it. She said, no, we can't do it today. My schedule is always too packed during the weekend. And, that's why when I say a time, you have to be there at that time. And I'm like, I'm sitting there when she texted me when I had set a time, you have to be there. I'm like, all right, are you a drill sergeant? Am I in the military? She was so pissed that I couldn't meet her exactly at the time that she wanted. Okay, that she bailed completely. I understand people are busy. I barely have time to take a dump during the weeks, okay? I get it. I understand what it's like to be busy. But you're just angry so you cancel the whole thing because I'm going to be a half an hour late? The funniest thing too is that she texted. I'm like, I text her like an hour later, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just sitting home and waiting to go out later. So she could have went. She just didn't want to. She was pissed off because I couldn't meet her at the time she wanted to meet. Now, exactly, it's funny because here's the double standard part. Okay, there was another. I'm not attached to anyone. There was another girl I was supposed to hang out with tonight. Again, it was set up like 5 days in advance. Okay, I was supposed to meet her, either get coffee or meet her at her apartment. Okay, so I text her, I call her, I text her, I didn't call her, I text her, I said, all right, am I still coming over? Yeah. Half an hour later, half an hour before I was supposed to be there, she's like, I'm in my pajamas right now, I don't look really too good, I think I'm going to have to cancel because I'm just not, I'm just not in the mood, well, let's just do it another time. I'm sitting there, and I did go off on her. I said to her, I have a day and a half to myself every weekend. I put aside this evening to hang out with you. If you don't want me over your house, that's fine. If you want to just get coffee, that's fine. But a half an hour before I meet you, you bail. You know what she texts me back? Stop being such a female and stop getting your panties in a bunch. Yes, I bailed. Tough shit. So I snapped at her and said, first off, fuck you. I said, let's put the shoe on the other foot. If you had plans, which you did with me, but you canceled, if the shoe was on the other foot and I canceled the plans and you set aside your night that you don't really have that much free time to do stuff anyway to hang out with me and I canceled on you at the last minute, no less. Like if she canceled on me even like today at this early afternoon, I wouldn't have really give the shit. I would have moved on with my day. But you canceled 20 to 30 minutes before we were supposed to get together. I said to her, you'll be pissed off. And it's plain and simple, clear as day. You would be pissed off. Especially I didn't have the courtesy to let you know ahead of time. And on top of it, too, she didn't even make an excuse. It's not like she said, like, a scorpion crawled up in her vagina and attacked her. She just said, I'm just not in the mood anymore. And you know what she said back to me after I wrote that text and kind of just pwned her with that statement I made? She said, don't text me anymore. You're pissing me off now. Because she had nothing valid to say back to it. She just didn't feel like hanging out. And if the shoe was on the other foot, she'd be pissed off, but she doesn't care because that doesn't benefit her. Now, the last one, I've talked about something similar before, but it's still about the whole women bailing and not caring, but if you did it to them, they would freak out thing. Guys, especially if you're younger, and I know other guys out there could vouch for this. It doesn't matter if the woman's 20, 30, or in her late 40s. If they send you provocative pictures and they act like they're a porn star on the phone, 95% of the time, they're either not going to show up or get cold feet because over the phone, they can pretend to be this sexual vixen that they want to be. But in real life, they get cold feet and are afraid to actually do it. They have this fantasy in their head. So if a girl, without you even asking, is sending you a provocative picture, it's a red flag that's so big it should have a zip code. Moving on, because this is what this chick did. She was older. She was actually in like her early 40s. So I tried 3 times with her. That's my own dumbass mistake. But anyway, moving on. So we were supposed to meet 3 different times. Okay. First time, she didn't call me. I just show up somewhere. It was at Dunkin' Donuts. She just doesn't show. The second time, we were supposed to work out at Planet Fitness, and I was supposed to go back to her place. Doesn't show up to Planet Fitness. Whatever. That one didn't bother me too much because I work out at the gym anyway. The third time, we were supposed to meet at Dunkin' Donuts at one that was far away from my house and closer to her. All right? It was a last-minute thing. I barely had time to meet her. I go up there, drive all the way up, like a third time, which that part's my fault, by the way. Drive 30 minutes away. No show. Nowhere to be found. I call her up. She's like, I have cold feet. I'm so nervous. I can't do this. I'm so sorry. I know you wasted your time. Please forgive me. I promise I really want to meet you. I said to her on the phone, you did this to me 3 fucking different times. Do not ever call me again. 2 days later, she calls me up again. Can we meet for coffee this week, Friday? I promise I'll actually show up, please. I said to her, if you ever call me again, I will give the number to the police and say that you're harassing me. Get the hell away from me. I don't ever want to see you again. Go away. Hindsight being 2020, that was a blessing in disguise, because it was the reason that she was doing that shit was because she actually had like a long-term relationship that was very on and off, and she, I guess, wanted to do something and then she would feel guilty at the last second, and I was like her pawn. So the bottom line is, there can't be a double standard. To the women out there, if a guy would do something to you and it would piss you off, it would piss him off if you did the same thing to him. Don't expect there to be a double standard where you could get away with things and he can't. It's not fair, and it's not the way it should be. This is Rich of Review Tech USA, signing out.